Subnautica. What do you think of when you hear that name? Is it the Aurora? The water planet? Maybe the leviathans? For me personally, I think of fear, and not in the traditional sense. Subnautica has a kind of rising tension fear aspect to it, mostly noticed on your first playthrough. You get thrown into the middle of the ocean on a fully water planet. I mean, let's be real. If I'm in that situation, like I'm finding some way to blow myself up. Like if you land in the void, especially, what is you supposed to do? Like you dead regardless. Like come on now. Not knowing anything besides the fact that you're alone and your only possible escape, the Aurora, was just blown up. Today we're gonna be talking about fear in Subnautica, how the loneliness in the atmosphere of the game builds this tension as you sink further into the world of Subnautica. I'm sure we all remember what it was like to run into a leviathan for the first time. I don't think I've ever clenched my cheeks harder than that. Like, oh, oh, shit, oh, shit. Nah, come here, nigga. What's good? Oh, shit, he just stole my shit. He just stole my sea mod. Yo, he just broke my sea mod. While that is a part of the horror in Subnautica, it's not all we'll be talking about. This video will be split into 3 parts. 1. Atmosphere and setting of the game. 2. The horror of the creatures found throughout the game. And 3. The illusion of safety. If this sounds interesting to you, make sure you sub to your boy. We trying to hit 500 subs by the end of the year. I feel like that's not crazy, bro. 500? Like, come on. That's not even a lot, bro. I feel like we can make that happen. Section 1. Atmosphere and setting. Subnautica starts in the safest part of the game, the grassy plateaus. It's a chill little area, you got fish to eat, caves to explore, the whole shebang. While you run into these farting motherfuckers and a couple other angry cadavers, they're not really much of a threat in this area. You'll find yourself thinking, oh, it's not that bad, but that safety is temporary. Because the deeper you swim, the more you notice things aren't right. The music starts to shift from playful synths to ambient tones that don't quite feel right. Sometimes it just cuts out completely, leaving you floating in silence. That silence can be worse than hearing a predator, because it makes you feel exposed, like something could be watching you, even when there's nothing there. And then there's the biomes themselves. Subnautica doesn't just throw monsters at you. It changes the world in ways that slowly chip away at your comfort zone. The grassy plateaus stretch out into wide, open plains where reefbacks float above you. But the openness makes you feel tiny, vulnerable. The kelp forest is thick and shadowy, making it easy to lose your bearings. Go into the jelly shroom caves, and suddenly you're thrown in this glowing alien underworld where these dirty-ass crab snakes lurk inside the mushrooms, waiting to ambush you. If you go even deeper, you hit the Lost River, a biome filled with skeletons of leviathans, green toxic fog, rivers of acid, and even baby ghost leviathans. By the time you reach the lava zone, you're so deep into the game that it feels oppressive. The pressure, the heat, and the constant threat of sea dragon leviathans and these ugly motherfuckers. Every biome feels like a new stage into your descent into an alien nightmare. But the scariest part isn't just the environments, it's the loneliness. Subnautica is a survival game where you don't have any companions, radio chatter, or even an AI with personality. Your only voice is a robotic assistant that gives cold clinical updates. It doesn't care that you're afraid. It doesn't care that you're alone. It just reminds you that you're running out of oxygen or calories. The lack of human connection makes you hyper aware that you're the only living person left. And in knowing that, the game teases you with hope. Early on, you start receiving coordinates from other survivors' escape pods. The first time it happens, you feel a spark of excitement. Maybe I'm not alone after all. But every single time you follow the signal, you find nothing but wreckage. Abandoned pods, sometimes with logs from the doomed crew inside. One message might sound panicked, another calm, another resigned. But the result is always the same. They're already dead. Subnautica doesn't let you discover loneliness. It makes you relive it over and over again. The ultimate gut punch comes with the sunbeam. Finally, someone out there heard your distress signal. Finally, someone is coming to save you. You watch the timer count down as they prepare to land, their pilot confident that they'll get you home. You go to the landing site, waiting, hoping, only to watch the ship get digged down by this big-ass alien cannon that erupts from the island itself. In seconds, that brief flicker of salvation is gone, and your only hope of human contact is lost. The game doesn't let you forget that this planet is a prison. The deeper you go, the more it tightens its grip. That's what makes Subnautica's atmosphere so effective. It's not just the jump scares from a leviathan scream or the eerie glow of a biome. It's the way the game uses silence, emptiness, and failed hope to create an atmosphere of dread. You're never truly safe, never truly in control. Even as you build bases and craft submarines, there's always that lingering feeling in the back of your head. I'm not supposed to be here. I don't belong here. And it's that feeling, the quiet terror of isolation in a world that doesn't care about you, that makes Subnautica one of the most unique horror experiences in gaming. Section 2. Creature Horror. One of the things that makes Subnautica so terrifying isn't just the setting, it's the creatures that inhabit it. From the very first moments, the game makes sure you know you're not at the top of the food chain. You're not the predator, you're the prey, and every biome has its own cast of life forms ready to remind you of that fact. At first, the threats seem almost funny. Gasopods float lazily through the water, spraying them dookie clouds when you get too close. They look goofy, they move slow, but the first time you get close, those gas bursts can kill you if you're not careful. Stalkers are another early predator, lurking in the kelp forest. They'll circle you, try to pull up on you and bite at you, and sometimes even snatch pieces of metal like dogs playing with bones. On their own, they're not really a problem, but they set the tone. This isn't a friendly ocean. Even the smaller predators will ruin your day if you let your guard down. As you expand your range, the creatures just keep getting worse and worse. Sand sharks burrow beneath the sand and burst out when you least expect it. Amphibs ride through the water in the deeper biomes, shocking you with bursts of electricity. In the jelly shroom caves, you got crab snakes that hide inside the mushrooms, waiting for you to get too close before striking out. That's not just an enemy. That's an ambush predator designed to prey on your curiosity. The most annoying one of them all is this long-headed motherfuckers with claws that can teleport. Like, this motherfucker don't die. Like, you pull up on him, you shoot him with the status rifle, right? You like, alright, bet, I'm finna kill him. Bro teleports after you hit him like one time. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Subnautica, like, damn. Anyways, that was a little rant, my fault. I just really don't like bro. Alright, all these different creatures make you feel different emotions. Some you might feel happy to see, some cause you to feel like you're safe. Subnautica constantly weaponizes your instinct to explore against you. And then there are the leviathans. They strike you with only one emotion, fear. The first time you hear the distant roar of a reaper leviathan, it stays with you forever. That deep, guttural scream cuts through the water, and even if you can't see it, you know it's close. Reapers stalk the edges of the map and the wreckage of the Aurora, guarding critical resources. They're long, eel-like monsters with a mouthful of teeth that can crush a sea moth in seconds. You've seen it already. Like, you've seen it. They don't be playing. The sheer scale of them makes you feel powerless. But the Reaper is only the beginning. Later in the game, you'll encounter the ghost leviathans in the Lost River and the edges of the void. Translucent, glowing monsters that look like nightmares made flesh. They're not just predators. They feel otherworldly. Like the planet itself manifests as guardians to keep you out of places you don't belong. And deep in the lava zone, the sea dragon leviathans patrol like living gods. These things don't just attack you. They shoot fireballs at you, they grab your vehicles and swat away anything in their path. They're designed to remind you that you're trespassing in their domain. Even the so-called friendly leviathans carry weight. The Sea Emperor, trapped in Ancient, is the only one that doesn't inspire fear after you find out she's friendly. Because when she pulled up on that platform, my life flashed before my eyes, I'm not gonna lie. But her sheer size and presence make her unforgettable. She embodies the tragedy of Subnautica, a creature so massive, so alien, yet capable of showing more compassion than the planet itself ever gave you. What makes these creatures so terrifying isn't just their design, it's the sound. Subnautica's audio work is masterful. A Reaper scream is enough to make players panic and fumble their controls. The clicking of a crab snake or the distorted growls of a ghost leviathan echoing through the water build dread long before you see them. Sometimes you'll hear something in the distance and never actually encounter it. That uncertainty, the idea that something might be out there, is scarier than the attack itself. And unlike many survival games, Subnautica doesn't make you overpowered. Weapons are intentionally limited. You don't get machine guns or rocket launchers. At best, you have a knife, a status rifle, and maybe a propulsion cannon. These tools aren't designed to kill. They're designed to buy you time to run. That changes how you play. Every encounter with the predator becomes about evasion, misdirection, and survival. The knowledge that you can't stand and fight ramps up the tension to an unbearable degree. The brilliance of Subnautica's creature design is that each one feels like it belongs in the ecosystem. The stalkers collect scrap for their nests. Reefbacks drift across the grassy plateaus like living mountains. The crab snakes hide because they evolved to ambush. Even the leviathans feel like apex predators that fit into the food chain. It makes the fear more believable, because the world isn't built around you. It's built around them. You're just one more piece of prey that happened to land here. The result is a constant psychological pressure. No matter where you go, something is lurking. Sometimes it's small and manageable. Sometimes it's colossal and unstoppable. But it's always there, reshaping how you approach Subnautica. You swim faster, you keep your eyes on the darkness, and you second guess every dive. That's the genius of Subnautica's creature design. They don't just fill the world, they define the way you move through it. Section 3. Illusion of safety. One of the best things Subnautica does is convince you that you're safe, right up until it rips that comfort away. Unlike traditional survival horror games, which thrive on constant dread and scarcity, Subnautica begins by handing you something rare in this genre: a safe place, a sanctuary. Your life pod is small, fragile, and on fire when you wake up. But once you fix it up, it feels like a home. There's light inside, a medkit dispenser, storage, shit, everything you need. You even get a fabricator that carries the game, because without it, you'd be dead just like everybody else. In the vast alien ocean, this little pod gives you the illusion that you can carve out a corner of safety. And the game keeps feeding on that illusion. Each new crafting recipe, each base module, each vehicle feels like progress. When you build your first room, it's a win. When you dock your sea moth in a moon pool, it feels like you created a real foothold. By the time you pilot the Cyclops, a massive submarine complete with lockers, power cells, and sonar, you might believe you conquered the ocean. Subnautica is so good at making you feel like a pioneer, like this is your world now. But that's the trick. Safety is always fragile, and Subnautica never lets you forget it for long. Your life pod drifts further from relevance as biomes grow more dangerous. Bases flood if damaged, and power can drain in the middle of the night, leaving you in darkness. The Cyclops, which feels invincible when you first build it, is constantly stalked by predators. Leviathans can batter it until alarms blare and hull breaches scream through the speakers. Even fire, one of the most basic human fears, finds a way to invade your safe metal coffin. And all the while, the deeper you go, the thinner the illusion of safety becomes. What Subnautica is really teaching you is that safety isn't permanent, it's borrowed. The ocean allows you to believe in control only long enough to take it away. That lesson sharpens every time the game tempts you with a sliver of hope, and then crushes it. And that's where Subnautica's horror deepens into something psychological. The true antagonist isn't just the Leviathans, or even the alien precursors who built the prison around this planet. It's the creeping realization that the world will never let you rest, that every step forward can be undone, that you are not safe, and you never were. Even your own victories carry this weight. You build, explore, and survive. But the further you progress, the more you realize your structures are temporary. Bases will break down, vehicles will be destroyed, resources will dwindle. Nothing you create lasts forever, because nothing can truly hold back the ocean. Subnautica isn't about dominance, it's about endurance. And maybe that's why its fear lingers so powerfully after the game ends. When you finally escape the planet, blasting off into space in the Neptune rocket, it doesn't feel like a victory lap. It feels like a fragile reprieve. You survived this time, but only because you were stubborn enough to endure the ocean's lessons. You never conquered it. You simply endured long enough to leave. That's the genius of Subnautica. It doesn't scare you by constantly threatening your life. It scares you by letting you believe that you're safe, then stripping that belief away again and again. In doing so, it teaches a lesson far more unsettling than any jump scare. Safety is an illusion, and the ocean, vast, uncaring, and endless, was never yours to tame. Now, if you made it this far, I assume you enjoyed the video, because we all the way at the end. So if you're hearing this means you really like the video, which means you should subscribe for more, because we only got more coming. We only gonna keep getting better. Gonna have more fire coming out. So if you're hearing this, subscribe to your boy. Pretty please and thank you. Now, if you still listening, this for like any people who really mess with me, like you're a subscriber, like you really want to see me put out more content. Now, I was thinking, right, I'm gonna do this at the end of every video, like a little yap session maybe. Just put out some ideas, you know. I can also respond to comments in the section, whatever. I don't know, we'll see, I guess, eventually. But I'm thinking I want to do like a gaming channel, like where I just play games more casually than like explaining them, or, you know, my video essays. If y'all be interested in that, you know, let me know. Let me know any criticisms. You know, I'm always down to get better, improve my quality, you know. Also, you know, if you heard this, use a real one, and I appreciate you. And we got more coming out soon. All right, thank you, bye.